Oh, no, I don't want to for the emergency.
There's a baby on the ground.
We don't know if the baby is breathing.
It doesn't look like it.
Do you see anybody around them?
Yeah, his dad, and it was like somebody was trying to give him CPR.
June 18th, 2014, Vinings, Georgia. People at a shopping center watch in horror as a man pulls out a toddler's body from an SUV. The boy is 22-month-old Cooper Harris, and the father is 33-year-old Justin Ross Harris, a web developer for Home Depot. We would learn that the child was left inside of that SUV for approximately 7 hours on an incredibly hot summer day. Harris initially tried to perform CPR on his son, but then gave up and walked away.
You would think that this would go to, this kind of parental primal response where you want to do everything to breathe life into this precious child. He was not doing it, and the last hands to touch this child were the hands of strangers.
It was completely unintentional. Okay. I have no history of child abuse, I have no history of domestic violence, I have no criminal history. I left the house with Cooper, and the plan was I was going to take him to Chick-fil-A, which I did. After we eat breakfast, I usually take him across the street to daycare, which is at the Home Depot, and make sure he's strapped in real tight. I gave him a kiss, he gave me a kiss. I went to work, as if he wasn't even in the back. Finished the work day, and then as I was driving down Acres Mill, I caught a glimpse of him when I looked to my right to change lanes. I caught a glimpse of him in the back, and I thought I saw it. I thought I was seeing things. And then I saw him, and then I lost him. Pulled him out for just a few seconds. I attempted CPR. I couldn't compose myself to do it. And he had that stare in his face. I knew it was coming. I knew that I had done what every parent in their life fears they've done, and that's just leave their son in the car on a hot day.
At first, Harris appears devastated.
How do you think this happened? There are occasions where in the morning after I drop him off, I'll go to Chick-fil-A. All those times I'll always go to the drive-thru. I never go inside. And I'll leave Chick-fil-A, and when I turn out of Chick-fil-A, I'll turn on the Cumberland, I'll take that U-turn, and I'll go straight to it. And I don't know if my mind just said that's what you're doing today. The worst fear for me is to leave my son in a hot car.
This is a small vehicle, and the positioning of the car seat relative to where Cooper was immediately over the driver's right shoulder. Even when you disembark from the vehicle, he's still going to be in eyesight.
Harris's wife, Leanna, comes in to speak with her husband. It's when the two are talking, seemingly without knowing they're being recorded, that things get weirder.
Did you say too much?
All I did was tell him to do it to the day. All I could think about it was going ahead. I wouldn't break it back if I could. You know that, right?
You wouldn't or you would?
I wouldn't. Because he's happy.
Who wouldn't want their 22-month-old son back? Anybody would. That doesn't make sense.
Now we're starting to wonder, did Harris intend to kill Cooper?
Lunchtime rolls around. I got some guys that I work with across the street. They came and picked me up. We went to Publix, ate lunch. They took me back and dropped me off.
While Harris talked about going to lunch, what he didn't tell police was that he also purchased light bulbs and after lunch placed them on the front seat, a moment captured by surveillance video.
Keep in mind at this time, Cooper is in the car still. He doesn't notice that a child's in his car seat. His child's in his car seat.
While on the surface, Harris comes off as a devoted family man, a search of his phone and internet history reveals a disturbing secret. Harris had been having multiple affairs, including encounters with both women and men, and had even sexted with underage girls. He was messaging women, sending graphic pictures, and wrote online just minutes before leaving his toddler in the car, "I love my son and all, but we both need escapes," and "I hate being married with kids."
There was actually one search that was discovered on the perpetrator's search engine. He had been looking at hot car deaths, and of course defense tried to say that this was related to the deaths of animals and cars, and I'm thinking, and is that all you got?
After hearing all the evidence, the jury had to decide if Cooper's death was an accident or murder. It took them 4 days to deliberate, but the jury ultimately came back with their verdict.
We, the jury, find as follows: count one, malice murder. As count one, we find the defendant guilty.
Justin Ross Harris was convicted across the board of all charges.
What factually was a horrific experience for this 22-month-old child who had been placed in the trust of his father, and in violation and dereliction of duty to that child, if not love of that child, callously walked away and left that child in a hot car in June in Georgia in the summer to swelter and die. Sentence of the court is life to serve in confinement without parole.
In addition to life in prison, Justin Ross Harris was also sentenced to an additional consecutive term of 32 years on the other charges.